That's why, in honor of Mother's Day, I want to discuss an issue that impacts working moms and families across our economy, and that's the soaring cost of childcare. According to the Pew Research Center, childcare costs have more than doubled over the last 2 decades, while wages have barely budged. Here in New Jersey, the average cost of daycare runs about $12,700 for infants and $11,700 for toddlers a year. To put that in perspective, that's about the same as a year of in-state tuition at some of New Jersey's public colleges. And preschool isn't much cheaper at an average of over $10,000 a year. Of course, childcare isn't the only expense crushing families these days. They also get hit with higher health care, housing, transportation, and education costs. So while we hear a whole lot about the low unemployment rate and how well the economy is doing, the truth is that working families are barely keeping their heads above water. Beyond helping families get ahead, affordable childcare is pivotal to the fight for equal rights and opportunity for women in the workplace. Even in this day and age, women still face systematic inequalities in our economy, earning just 80 cents for every dollar paid to their male white counterparts in 2018. And yet the wage gap is even more pronounced for parents. Mothers earn just 71 cents for every dollar earned by fathers, and mothers of color make even less. This economic disparity is so entrenched that it even has a name: the motherhood penalty. The fact that a motherhood penalty even exists should be a national outrage. And the penalty is even worse when childcare becomes unaffordable, because moms are still more likely than dads to leave the workforce to care for their young children. That's not ideal, because so many families need two incomes to get by. And having to quit your job during your prime earning years can have lasting implications for women and the struggle for equal pay for equal work. If we want more Americans to start families, we cannot ignore recent survey data that suggests the cost of childcare is one of the top reasons that people are having fewer children. Flowers and Mother's Day cards are nice, but what we really need are policies that help moms succeed and level the playing field for working families. It's time we start prioritizing the needs of the American people instead of wasting trillions of dollars on tax cuts for big corporations that, if you followed the news lately, are often getting away with paying no taxes at all. That's why my colleagues and I have introduced the Child Care for Working Families Act to dramatically expand access to affordable child care and preschool. Our bill will ensure that no family making under 150% of the median income in the state would spend more than 7% of their wages on daycare or preschool. Families would pay their fair share on a sliding scale, regardless of how, regardless of how many children they have. And parents earning less than 75% of the state median income would see child care and preschool costs eliminated entirely. That's important because today 4 out of 10 low-income children enter kindergarten less prepared than their wealthier counterparts. We know that quality early learning programs help level the playing field, giving children in poverty, and especially children of color, a better shot. That's why our bill also invests $8 billion in grants for states to provide universal preschool to all low and moderate income families, while strengthening proven programs like Head Start. In addition, we institute a living wage for child care workers and early learning educators because they do important work and it deserves to be treated as such. Between raising wages for child care workers and helping more families afford it, our legislation would create over 700,000 jobs in the child care field, according to the Center for American Progress. This legislation would make a real difference in the lives of New Jersey families. Consider a couple with 2 children here in Essex County. I'm going to call them Jason and Linda. They do well. They earn about the median income for a family of 4 in New Jersey, which is about $113,000 a year. But today, Jason and Linda spend $21,000 a year on daycare. That's nearly $400 a week. So it's no surprise that after buying groceries, meeting rent or mortgage, and paying their bills, they're barely getting by. Linda's seriously considering leaving her job to care for the kids at home, but knows that she'll be missing out on potential promotions and that finding a new job is never as easy as it sounds. Under our legislation, mothers won't be forced with that choice. The Child Care for Working Families Act payments would ensure that this couple pays no more than $2,260 a year on child care versus the $21,000 they're paying now. That translates into more than $18,000 in savings a year. That's real money that a family can put towards paying off student loans, making a down payment on a home, or buying a second car. And for a single parent, access to affordable child care is life-changing. For many, it's the difference between having to work a second job or spending more quality time with your children. And spending more quality time with your children is a price tag you can't even put on. So just to give you a sense, here in New Jersey, there would be over 1,067,000 children who would be eligible under this legislation, of which 76% would share in the full benefit. So to give you an example, a family who is of four, who is earning the median income in the state, about $113,000 or so dollars, their maximum annual child care payment would be $2,267 a year, or $44 a week. At least 3 in 4 child care workers in our state would receive a raise to earn a living wage. This is just a sense of what the legislation would do here in our own state. These possibilities are endless, especially when you consider that when parents can pursue their careers, their earning potential will grow. That's what the Child Care for Working Families Act is all about, investing in real opportunity for America's moms and dads to give their kids a better life. We know that investing in universal, quality, early learning, which is what this school does. This is an exceptional school in the district that is focused on this in a way that should be replicated throughout the nation. It is the right thing to do for our children. It is a smart thing to do for our future. We know access to affordable child care is a great equalizer for women in the workplace. And we know that when Child Care for Working Families Act, we can begin building an economy where working families can actually get ahead and injustices like the motherhood penalty are left behind.